In the past 8 weeks, have not been recording any B2B SaaS videos because I've been busy winning the Dota 2 Cybersports tournament. And in this one, I wanted to share the story behind it, and I thought it would be very interesting to share how I have been applying my skills for coaching B2B SaaS founders to success in me helping our team to succeed in this one tournament. So I have been playing video games my entire life, and as a kid, I was like, okay, it would be so cool to be this guy on stage playing and everything. However, I knew that I'm not gonna be dedicating tens of thousands of hours to playing video games, and that's why I didn't really believe in my cybersports career. Despite that, I've always been playing casually games like Dota 2, Counter Strike. Well, as a Russian, these are the all-time classics, and the other ones would be Call of Duty, Witcher, and stuff like that. Anyways, majority of time I've always been playing Dota 2 with friends and alone, and I saw a thing that few months back the guy announced that he's hosting a tournament for people who are entrepreneurs to participate in this Dota 2 championship. And I thought, okay, I don't have that much chance to stand against nerds who have spent like 15 years non-stop, 16 hours a day playing just this game. However, when you add this parameter to it, that the guy should be running a successful business, now I think I can test my chances. And spoiler alert, it went quite well. So, first of all, it started with me looking for a team, and once there was an announcement, I understood that okay, the guys who would be making the strongest team will drop everything and will just this as soon as the announcement was made, will go and start looking for teammates to get the best matchup. And as I understood that, I immediately dropped everything and started looking, okay, what can be one team or the other I can join. First, I got on one team which was so, then was rejected from like maybe 10, 15 other teams who told me, well, my rank is not that high and that's why they're not going to allow me in. And then I saw that there is another team which was already complete with 5 out of 5 players. And however, it had a funny name with some old school reference to the game. And I said, look, guys, I know you're already fully packed, but if you got a space in future, just DM me. And I joined the other 50-50 team. The first thing which happens is instead of people saying yo to me, they're like, wait, where's the other guy? What happened to him? Yeah, where's Ben? Oh, what's up with Ben? I thought we're playing with him. And I'm like, well, that's very welcoming of you. So then I start chatting to my friends and saying, I've got well, first I had no options, and then it happened that the other team with a funny name and 5 packed players, they had couple spots open, and then they told me, hey, would you like to join? And I was in this uncomfortable situation where I was already in one lineup, but they welcomed me so poorly that I thought that okay, I must consider joining a stronger elo wise team. For example, the average rank in the other one with a funny name was higher. And I asked a couple of my friends what should I do, and they told me, look, Dennis, if they welcomed you so awfully, okay, you must join the other one. So I did. And I understood from the beginning that, for example, in my new team, um, I was on paper the lowest skilled player. So, for example, there is, I think, similar to ELO in chess, which is for your rating, and I had the lowest one, and I knew, okay, if I perform not awfully, then the all other lanes we shall dominate everything. And that's why I knew that the harder I trained during this tournament, being the weakest link, the more unbeatable we're gonna become. Because the team and any business, it falls down to the weakness of its weakest link. For example, if you have five killer players, but one and then one super weak person, it all gonna be dropping your average performance level tremendously. And that's why I thought, okay, if I become sort of average in this one team with other guys being ranked significantly above me, we shall dominate everyone. And that's why I was very dedicated to the training process from the first day and then all the way to the grand final. So, finding game synergy. I understood the following thing. My role in a game is usually a person who does initiation and starts the fights. But after we started playing for a couple days, it turned out that my skill is not high enough for me to be starting and initiating the fights correctly when we're matched up against people who are, say, 3 4 times stronger than me. For instance, like I spent what 2 to 3 thousand hours in a game overall, and they're like 6 to 10 thousand hours bracket. And of course, for example, playing at my level, I have no difficulty in that. But I knew that, for example, when it's gonna come up to be playing matched up against people who have 3 4 times the experience, they don't open up the position, their um, like game flow throughout the match is much stronger, and it's just going to be much more difficult for me. And then we made a decision which I believe was one of the most influential ones, is I put my ego away, and instead of me trying to play the heroes which are extremely how do I say, you can get a lot of highlight worthy moments with them. Instead, I started to play the ones which were just like buy the auras, stand behind, don't die, heal the others, those type of thing. And this helped us a lot because such way the other guy who was playing position 4 was nominated to be doing the initiation side because he does play a couple times better than me. And we decided that even though this is a bit unusual, he's gonna be the one doing the initiation, and I am gonna be playing the unkillable tank type of role with super fat characters that are gonna be hard to kill throughout the game. And for the majority of the tournament, I was thinking that, well, I am being given such selection of characters who buy auras because I just play too poorly for me to be doing anything else. And only after I have tried out couple highlight making heroes as well, I realized that actually auras in this meta are extremely powerful, and that's why it's actually a responsibility as well to handle. So I noticed that at the same time as, for example, I've started speaking to guys after the tournament, it turned out that unlike me, a lot of other players, they put their ego and their personal private interests above the team's one and above victory. And that's why, for example, they said even though current meta and like there are a few heroes which are super powerful in this current meta, they want to play this and that, and they don't care because they want to play for fun. I from start, well, of course, all of us agreed that we were entering this tournament thinking, oh, we're just gonna be like drinking beer, casually playing one night after another, chilling, having fun. No, just maybe no, no, because the competition level which we actually did enter turned out to be much and much higher than everyone in the tournament expected, and because a lot of people started treating it really hardcore, and I knew right there that, for example, me seeing how other teams started preparing, well, there was a large dispute about, okay, what is fair and what is not fair, because, for example, the team's elo and the team's average ranking was kept at a certain level. It's 3.5 thousand elo, for example. And there was huge battles going on because many people can fake their rating and say, oh, I'm, for example, a 2000 elo player, in reality being 5 or 6,000 elo player, which is incomparably stronger one. And there were a lot of things happening like that throughout the tournament. And that's why, well, for my side, I knew, as there is like nothing fair in life, nothing fair in business, there is nothing gonna be fair in this tournament. And that's why you always want to prepare to such extent that even when all the odds are against you, you still get what you deserve. Because with such attitude and with such level of preparation, even when all odds are against you, you still either like you do everything you can to win, and many times you do win as a result. So that's why from scratch I was telling the guys that, look, we should relax about the fairness side. There is no such thing as fair game. That's why, like, we should prepare such a way that we're not going to regret a single day of us not preparing. So about finding the game synergy, a huge decision that we made was egos aside and full focus on playing to our strength. For example, we knew that our position one player is the strongest on the team, and we should adjust our playstyle such a way that we bet a lot on him and he solely carries the entire team. And this playstyle has really helped us. So many other teams, they did not put that much effort into practice. So it's not that I treated training hardcore from scratch, far from my understanding of hardcore, but some of my teammates were surprised in the initial times when they're like, oh, we're having a team training. Because what I did is, of course, like started as I started participating in that, despite me having a whole business to run with me coaching B2B SaaS founders to 50 to 500K MRR, I hired a coach because I know how much of a secret hack, if you will, or how much of a strength this can be if you hire the person who can really boost your skill set in a short period of time. So some friends of mine were like joking, saying that, yo, Dennis, what are you doing? And I'm like, okay, we're gonna see who laughs last. And I hired the first coach, I think was like 17 years old, a nerd teenager that has spent like most of his life playing this game and has been teaching me how do I press this or that thing, helping me pick my characters that I should play, how my playstyle should look like, and so on. And as I started calculating afterwards, I think that I have, throughout like couple months, have spent over 25 hours in just solo trainings, one on one with coaches, and different coaches that I've been hiring throughout the tournament. And also we've had tens of hours as team training, also working on different aspects of our team play. So out of, yeah, and you just know that as you collect all these odds and all these parameters, you really do boost your chances of success tremendously. So there are a few things that I've done in order for me to get to an average player on our team level. Because as I mentioned, I knew that, okay, if all teams range, for example, from 1000 elo to 7000 elo in their team rating level, if I, and for example, all teams are averaged at and packed at 3.5 thousand elo, I knew that if I can get close to playing as an average tournament player, then my team is gonna like beat the hell out of all opponents, as it eventually happened. So that's why we started training around, well, first of all, we started playing regularly, and this what put us aside from many other opponents is we, I think not only I but a couple other guys on my team as well, of course we did share this child dream to become a cybersports champion, and this was finally the time when it could become real. And I would say that I was putting a bit more energy and focus into that over the past few months, and that's why some of my teammates have also been questioning, like, Dennis, when the hell do you run the business? So there are a few priorities in my life. It's running SaaS Camp and helping ambitious and driven B2B SaaS founders. Then there is like sports, and then there are video games. And in these few months, I had to give up on sports a bit, and that's why until yesterday I hadn't gone to the gym for a few months, which had not happened to me for the last 7 years. There's never been a moment when I would not do sports 2 or 3 times a week. And this was the area of my life which was a bit behind for this period of time. So it was just me running the business, setting up my new funnel, and then it was me dedicating other energy to this tournament. It applies equally to the business world that you are always the average of five closest people to you, 5 to 10 people to you. And that's, for example, why if you are surrounded by, say, 10 SaaS founders who are making 50 to 100K MRR, and you are making 20K, it's gonna be just a few months or significantly not a huge amount of time until you also start making the amount of money that your average circle is making. And that's why I believe that it's so useful for entrepreneurs to be joining communities where they can buy access to level up in their skills. And that's why I have invested over 50 grand in coaching in the past 12 months. Yeah. So equally, I've applied this same principle in the tournament as well, because I have bought another account to play the game, which was, for example, me usually playing around 2000 ELA. I bought the one which is 5.5 thousand ELA, because I understood that if I can start playing okay-ish on this 5.5 thousand ELA account, then when it comes to playing the guys in the tournament, it's just going to be much and much easier. And that's how it happened. That's why we started constantly practicing with stronger teams. We started, and then I started playing a lot with guys who are 3-4 levels above me, and that's how my skill has been getting has been growing dramatically. Aside from me playing the games on a higher rating, I've also been getting a few hours of coaching every other day. Then with my team, we've been training and playing together again. We didn't have a set schedule, but it was every other day as well. Say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, approximately. And we've been investing more and more in team training and coaching as we've been progressing through the tournament, and understanding even more and more that, well, we have really good chances to win. So it's being in the right environment, then being in a very active training mode, and then having expert look behind you and then help you navigate through decision making. I think these three components are foundational and fundamental when you want to level up in something. And I've applied them for myself, for the team I've been on, And also I do apply them in my usual business as well. And same happens with the clients of mine who I'm getting to this new revenue milestones, because what happens is they get to an environment where other B2B SaaS founders are making more than them, plus they have me as a coach guide them through the situations which I have seen hundreds of times when it comes to lead generation and getting more sales for B2B SaaS, so that I can share my piece of feedback here. And then they are, so to say, present in a much stronger level. And that's how, when for example you are surrounded by, let's say, couple guys who are making extra 30-50 grand more than you each month, you really speed up your way of getting there as well. So then we started playing in our group stage, and coming into group stage we thought that we are playing extremely well, unless we lost the first game of the group stage. And I think it has impacted us in a great way, because it really humbled us. And what was quite fun to understand is the first game of the group stage we'll lose, then all the other games, for example matches, either we win 2-0 or we have a draw 1-1. We finished the group stage with like 2 losses and 10 wins. It was really nice that it humbled us, because when you don't lose, you can get into this dangerous thinking that, oh, you're the best and you don't have anything to improve on. And say, like, equal situation applies in life and in business, that if you are surrounded by guys who are making, if all people in your network are making 5 to 10 grand a month, you also get into thinking that, oh, I don't need to aim for anything above 5 to 10 grand a month, because I'm already super set, and well, I'm already living the an unimaginable great life. Don't get me wrong, of course, like living on 5-10 grand a month is awesome place to be at, but as you understand me, it's far from some levels that you can achieve with your business, and I'm sure that you are aiming higher as I am. So that's why we got humbled as we entered the group stage, and started getting 2 times more training as we were going through the group stage. And our average week looked the following way: the business happens between 9 and 6 p.m. Then from say 6-7 p.m. until 10-11 p.m., nearly daily, we were either playing a group stage game, or we've been playing together, or we've been in a coaching session, some other 20-year-old guy telling us how to navigate our team process. And funny enough, throughout my experience, like through this tournament, I think for our team I have hired between 5 and 8 coaches, because I knew that, for example, well, there, one of the first ones was great, but he could not dedicate nearly as much time to us as we really needed. And that's why I understood that, okay, if you really want to secure insane results and huge results for yourself, you do want to have someone helping you who is ready to get you to such results. You can't become Michael Jordan when your coach is like dreaming low, for example, about making it to pass the group stage in NBA. You know, and for example, if for your coach the victory is making it to playoffs, you don't become Michael Jordan. You become Michael Jordan when your coach is doing everything so that you become the greatest of all time. That's why when it applies to my profession, I always have very high standards for what I believe the founder can achieve, so that when they achieve 20 to 40% of where I was aiming with them, they still see it as insane and awesome results. Because, for example, they would go from 10 to 30 grand over a span of 10, 12 weeks. And don't get me wrong, I believe that it's an awesome result, but I just see and I know that there are, for example, 7, 8 other steps that we need to make in order to secure an extra 20, 30 grand in their business, which I clearly see how they can be unlocking. And that's how I apply it in my profession as well. So after the group stage, we were competing to become this, for example, the top 8 team. And one of the most interesting parts about us making it to the top 8 was that during our group stage, out of 11 teams, 9 of them have filed a complaint against us, thinking that we are unfair players, that we have faked our elo. And it was very fun and at some point pleasant for me to hear, because due to our training mode, you know, I loved it so much that I knew that, for example, for each opponent, I had we did create the Google Sheet where we were tracking, okay, which characters they play, then which positions are the strongest in their team, what their matchup looks like, and how we should play against their play style. Then, aside from that, we've been investing tens of hours into improving our gameplay, not counting the fact that on an average week we would play between 12 to 20 hours together. And then we get matched up against the teams that, for example, would just casually, I call it casually, play 2 to 4 hours together in a week and then have an official match. How on earth would someone with such minimal compared to ours training standard have chances against us? And of course, when they as the tournament progressed, I think the skill gap has been increasing dramatically, because imagine if week 1 everyone gets together, we spend 10 hours training, the other teams spend 2 hours, then the gap becomes 8 hours. If we multiply this by the first 4 weeks of the group stage, it becomes like a 32-hour difference in terms of how much time we have been playing together. And on a good week, we would not just play 8 hours, but we would play like 3 times that. So that's how, when we were matched up against teams that have had like 40 to 60 hours less of game practice together, well, the results spoke for themselves. And also, it was quite interesting that, look, majority of teams there, they have only found each other when this tournament begun, and they did not have years of experience before that. And that's how another factor came in, that as we, well, first of all, we had fun playing with each other, and it was quite nice. And another huge thing, which I'm only mentioning now, but which is also huge, we did not have a single fight on our team from the day we met all the way down to the grand final. There were a couple disputes, but one from my side, because I didn't want to play another boring hero. I wanted to, yeah, you get me. But there was not a single huge fight or drama like between us. And now let's see these components together. We have high level of respect for each other. Then when we see that someone fucked up during the match, we, for example, would discuss it 3-5 seconds max, and then the team captain, who's been the other guy, would very smartly say, okay, that's in the past, let's move on. And it's just so awesome, because this thing has helped us not to be fighting each other in the microphone during the game, making more mistakes. And many teams we played against, for example, especially on these core positions, when you would kill someone in this one game, it's just so common that the guy gets super annoyed, starts looking for the problems in his teammates and start fighting. And then it turns out that they make more mistakes, and we kill them again, and then it just goes on and on and on, and then they lose the game quite quickly. When you have a environment you love being in, when you're on the team which is dedicated to be winning the first place, which we've been initially speaking about as a joke, but then as we were continuing to win more and more and more and training more rigorously, has started become not a joke at all, but rather a very clear defined vision. Uh, when we were matched up against guys who have spent, I would say, 90% of time less than us playing on the same team, and also they would be having fights on their team, of course what they would do next is after losing the match come to us and say, or not to us, to admins, and complain that, oh, this was an unfair game, and these guys are faking it. And then in all this elo checks, guys from our team would show how many hours of coaching we purchased, which at that time was like over 20 already. Then we would show the Google sheet that we have made against any other team in the tournament and how our playstyle against them should be. And then, yeah, these two things. And then show us another team that have invested so much energy and effort in winning this tournament. There wasn't one. And then we were progressing from group stage to making it to the LAN final. And this one was hosted in Moscow and was visited by nearly 500 people, and then watched by 14,000 people on stream, which for me is awesome to hear. So I asked everyone that we come 3 days before the LAN so that we go to this arena, and we started practicing there in advance. It's especially, this comes from the understanding of public speaking world. It's very useful for you to come to the stage and to get acquainted with the environment before the event is there, because it makes you much more familiar with the place. For example, imagine you have a huge speech coming up in 2 hours. 2 hours before, or maybe even one day before you go to the stage, even it's empty, you speak to the imaginary audience, you walk around, and you just get your body comfortable in there. And that's exactly the thing we did with this arena. We went there 3 days before the LAN began. No other team did. We spent like 8 hours there. Then the other day we came there, we spent another 6 hours playing in different parts of it. And we already got to the fact that we understood, okay, it's gonna be super sweaty, and it's like very hot there. And we also understood where the best places to get food at. That one place cooks so slowly that you should not go there, and that's why we knew all these many small things, that when it came to us playing the grand final day, we were already like coming there as to our second home. So the first, there was like a grand final hosted in 2 days, one like getting from top 8 to top 4, the other one from top 4 to playing the grand final. And these were the most hardcore days, I would say, in my gaming career, because this top 8 to top 4 day, let's call it day 1, we played like 4 or 5 matches, best of 3 each, and it's been like a huge 12-hour long day of us playing the game. And what's more, so we did not get to the winners bracket and got humbled again. And that's why after this day 1 at the LAN, the guys were laughing, oh, Dennis is gonna even now go home and then open his stats and go to get more coaching, haha. Because, for example, we've been playing from 10 a.m. until 11 p.m. slash like 12 a.m. the other day, like more than 12 hours, nearly non-stop, with some breaks, but still, what a day. And then I'm like, yeah, haha, get into taxi, 20 minutes I'm watching YouTube to chill. Then I come home and I realize, okay, my biggest day of my gaming career is happening tomorrow, and now I'm gonna go sleep when I know that we have lost an important game today, and I'm not sure about the play style that I should be following. I call one of the 7 coaches that was online. I do spend another 1.5 hours in the night already with my eyes red on it. We're discussing the play style, what characters we should be playing, everything. And roughly, what, 3 a.m., 3 something a.m., I go to sleep. 7 to 8 a.m., I wake up because we agreed to come to the arena a bit in advance again. And on this small sleep, I make it back. And while watching the game, which was already played on the main stage, I go to sleep because there was another guy from our team who made it our, I would say, team's culture thing, that before the most important games he would go sleep and have a nap. And it's funny how, for example, 10 minutes before we need to go on stage, we're all napping in our VIP lounge. Then we make it to the stage, win the games, have been the most, I would say, emotionally rich moments I've experienced in a very long time. And it was so nice that the friends came to support us. And then we won the tournament. And I think I'll plug in the video somewhere nearby. It was phenomenal. And I think even while watching, I might not find the picture now, but basically we won out of 64 teams and initially 1,000 players. And I just love how this dedication and focus has really helped us to get these results. It's been a fantastic journey, and I'm so thankful that I got on the team of people who were not only skilled but also very awesome to train with and to play with. And it's very interesting how once you learn this science of winning, how you can apply it in different areas of your life. And with this story I just dropped, I would love to welcome you if you are a B2B SaaS founder wanting to get to 50 to 200k MRR. If you would love to learn the science of winning, then apply to SaaS Camp, apply to my coaching, and I would be excited to help you get there. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.